Hey, what's going on, guys? So, Mr. Flores here. This is one of the last videos for solving a system of equations. These is going to be a video on 3 problems, and each one of them is going to be word problems. So, I know you guys are going to love them, and we'll figure it out. We'll solve it. So, first word problem, we're talking about an admission fee at a small fair is $1.50 for children, $4 for adults. On a certain day, 220 people enter the fair, $5,050 is collected. How many children, how many adults attended? All right, since you know we're talking about a system of equations, we need to have 2 variables, x and y. All right, x I'm going to say is children, y is adults. All right, so that's the first thing you always want to do when you're solving any type of word problem. Designate what your variables mean. X is children, y is adults. Now, there's 2 equations we're going to have to get. All right. When we reread this problem, we're learning that the admission fee for children is $150. The admission fee for adults is $4. Then it tells us 2,200 people entered the fair, and $5,050 was total money collected. Now we still have to create 2 equations, and I'm going to say the one equation has to deal with the money, so it's going to be equal to 550 or. Oops, 50/50, I mean, so 55,000, keep saying 50,000, $5,050. The other one has to deal with the amount of people that is entered. Now, on the left side of the of both equations, we need to figure out what is they equal. Well, the $5,050, or 5,050 is talking about the money collected, all right? So we're going to have money collected from our x's, from our y's, aka our children and our adults. For every child, it's $1.50. So you're going to take 1.5 multiplied by x to find out how much money was paid from children. Then you're going to find out that it's $4 per adult. So you're going to multiply the amount of adults by $4. When you add those up, you get $5,050. Now, 2,200 is the amount of people that entered. Since there's only children and adults, you're going to take x and y. You're going to take x and y, add them together to give you 2,200. Now that's our 2 equations. 1.5x plus 4y equals 50, or 5,050. X plus y equals 2,200. Now all we have to do is solve one of these for our variables. All right. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to eliminate our y variable. So I'm going to multiply the second equation by 4. All right. And again, make sure we distribute the 4 to every single term inside or in the second equation. So it's going to be 1.5x plus 4y is equal to 5,050. Just rewrite the first equation. When we multiply the 4, you get 4x plus 4y is equal to 8,800. All right. Now, if we look here, we have a 4y and a 4y. The only way to cancel or eliminate 4 and 4 is if you subtract them. Make sure you subtract everything. 1.5x minus 4x comes to negative 2.5x. 4y minus 4y cancels. 5,050 minus 8,800 comes out to negative 3,250. I think that's right. Let me just use my calculator to make sure. So 50 minus 880. Oh, that's wrong. It comes out to, and this is why I should probably do my math before I do videos, but hey, I like to use up my time wisely. So we get negative 2.5x equals negative 3750. Divide both sides by negative 2.5. Divide by negative 2.5. And you get x is equal to 1,500. Okay, so we know that there was 1,500 kids that entered the fair. All right, now in order to solve this, we must take this 1,500, substitute it in for x. So we're going to get 1,500 plus y is equal to 2,200. Subtract 1,500 from both sides, and you get y is equal to 700. So your answer is 1,500 kids 700 adults. And that's your final answer. Again, solving the system of equation is not hard, but coming up with the two equations is hard. And as long as you break down your variables and figure out what numbers or what you need to take from your word problem to make your equation, it makes it pretty easy. All right, so here we're going to talk about an exam is worth 145 points and a total of 50 questions. Multiple choice questions are 2 points, where open-ended questions are 5 points. Find out how many of each problem there was on the test. All right, so we know that one equation has to deal with the points. Another equation deals with the number of questions. All right, I'm going to say x is multiple choice, y is open-ended. All right, so if we have 154 points, we know we're going to have to add up points from open-ended and points from multiple choice. Multiple choice questions are 2 points. So to find out the total amount of points from multiple choice, you're going to multiply 2 times how many there are. Open-ended are 5, so you're going to multiply 5 by how many questions there are equals 145. Now, if there's 50 total problems, you just add x and y to give you 50. So there's your two equations. 2x plus 5y equals 145. X plus y equals 50. All right. So in order to solve this, we need to eliminate either x or y. I'm going to eliminate the x's, so I'm going to multiply everything in the second equation by a 2. So the first equation, I'm just going to rewrite. And then the second equation becomes 2x plus 2y equals 100. Again, since we have a positive 2x and a positive 2x, in order to eliminate them, we must subtract. 2 minus 2 is 0. 5 minus 2 is 3y. 140 minus 100 is 45. Divide both sides by 3. Y equals 15. And there's 15 open-ended questions. All right, just like every other system of equations, once you find out what your y value is, you need to take that, substitute into another equation. So you get x plus 15 equals 50. Subtract 15. X equals 35. Multiple choice problems. And there's your answer. All right. Easy. Now, the one thing that we need to realize is that since the open-ended questions are worth more than the multiple choice, you're going to have more multiple choice questions on your test. So, again, that's a quick way you can check, or you could substitute 35 in for x, 15 in for y. Make sure you get the right answer. All right? But again, solving the system was not difficult. The difficult task was setting up the equations, and that's the hardest part with word problems. And last one, we have the Duke Blue Devils scored 80 points in their win against Clemson. They made 37 2-point and 3-point baskets. All right. How many of each basket was scored? Well, again, one question pertains to the amount of points they scored. The next question is how many baskets they made. Okay. And I'm going to say x is 2-point, y is 3-point. So they made 37 total baskets. You're going to take number of 2-point and add it to the number of 3-point, so x plus y. Then, if there was 80 points scored, you still have to add up x and y, but 2 points, which is x, are worth 2 points. Y is worth 3 points. So it's 2x plus 3y equals 80. You always have to find out what the equation means. This equation talks about points, so our variables have to have their point values attached. This equation talks about the total number of baskets, so you're just adding up x and y. All right, so again, we must eliminate x or y. So I'm going to multiply this whole second equation by 3 so I can eliminate the y's. So again, it's 2x plus 3y equals 80. Just rewrite the top equation. 3x plus 3y equals, what is that, 111? Because 37 times 3 is 111. Now, we have a positive 3y and a positive 3y. If we subtract them, they cancel. 2x minus 3x is negative x. 3 minus 3 is 0. 80 minus 111 is negative 31. All right. So now, in order to get x by itself, so divide by -1, and x equals 31 2-point baskets. Okay, again, we must find out how many 3-point baskets were made. So you're going to substitute 31 in for x. All right, so you get 31 plus y equals 37. Subtract 31 from both sides. You get y is equal to 6. So then there was 6 3-point baskets. All right. Make sure you always label your answers, because without labeling, I don't know what the numbers mean, and you're not fully correct. All right. And again, solving this system was not difficult. The difficult part was setting up the equation. All right. So make sure when you're doing these problems, you read them very carefully, and you do a very good job of trying to figure out what do the equations mean, so you can set them up easily. If you have questions, let me know. Email me. Check out the rest of the page. Hope you have a good one.